Okay, so the final two problems that I'm going to go over from homework number 29. I have two statements each, and I've already filled out the truth values under each of the two terms. So all four of these statements, we have two terms each, A and B. So again, you're going to have 4 rows under each of the truth for the truth table. A, the first term is going to be true, true, false, false. Half of it is true, half of it is false. Then you're going to alternate the second term, true, false, true, false. So I've carried those through for all of the 4 statements. So let's go ahead and for the first problem, number 4, we'll identify our main operator. And for this one, it's going to be the disjunction, this wedge here. A is a separate entity and not B is the second disjunct. And then kind of the same thing for this, B and not A. The main operator is going to be this conjunction, the ampersand. B is its own entity, and then not A is the second disjunct. All right, so let's fill out the truth tables for both of those. So not B, this negation is just going to be opposite truth values. So false, true, false, true. And again, if you want to just kind of lightly cross out the column under B, since we don't need that anymore. So we're looking at these 2 columns for this disjunction. So again, for a disjunction, either side can be true for the disjunct to be true, the disjunction to be true. So we have true, true here. So the first 2 are going to be true. Both of these are false, so that disjunction is false. Then we have a true here. So this one's going to be true. We can go ahead and circle that column. That's the one we're going to be using to compare. Let's move on to the second statement. So not A, we can fill out opposite truth values. So false, false, true, true. Let's cross out the column under A. We're looking at these 2 columns for the conjunction. So for a conjunction, both sides have to be true for it to be true. And we have a false there, we have a false there. Both of those are true, so the conjunction is true. And then we have a false on the last one. So we can go ahead and circle that column. So we're going to be comparing these 2 highlighted columns. So let's first look and see if it's either, if it fits into either logical equivalence or being contradictory. So true, false, we immediately know that it's not logically equivalent. True, false, those are different. False, true, those are both different. True, false, those are both different. So we do actually have 2 contradictory statements. So what that means is that on each row, we have opposite truth values. True, false, false, true, false. They don't match up anywhere. All right, so number 4 is contradictory. Let's go ahead and erase that. Then we'll fill out number 5. So number 5, let's do highlight the main operators. If and only if, the biconditional, the main operator here. And then you have 2 parentheticals, and they're separated by the disjunction. So the disjunction, this wedge, is the main operator because it's connecting these 2 parentheticals. So let's go ahead and fill out the truth table. Start with the negation here. It's going to be opposite truth values of A. So false, false, true, true. And cross out the column under A. Looking at these 2 columns for the biconditional. So for a biconditional to be true, they have to be the same. Both sides have to be the same truth value. So we have false here, true here, so that's false. False here, so it's actually true because the false and the false are the same. And again, true and true are the same, So that biconditional is true. True and false are different, so that biconditional is false. Let's go ahead and highlight that column. So let's move to the second statement. Let's get the negations out of the way. So opposite truth values, false, false, true, true, cross out under A, false, true, false, true, cross out the column under B. Then we're looking at these two columns for this conjunction. Conjunction, they both have to be true. That's false, that's false. They are both true here, so that's true and false. And we can kind of cross out those two. And we're looking at these two columns for this conjunction again. There's a false there. These are both true, so that's true. False there, false there. Let's kind of cross out these two unneeded columns. So now we're looking at this column under the conjunction and this column under the conjunction, and they're separated by this disjunction, and that disjunction is the main operator that we're looking for. So for disjunction to be true, either side can be true. Here we have a false and false, so that's false. We have a false and true, at least one of them is true. We have a true, and both sides of the fourth row are false. So the disjunction is false. And that is the column underneath the main operator. False, true, true, false. So let's go ahead and see what category it falls into. So we can start with logical equivalence. Are they all the same? We have a false, false, true, 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 false, false. All the truth values are exactly the same, so this one is logically equivalent. We actually don't even have to look at contradictory, consistent, or inconsistent. We know it's not contradictory, and consistent, inconsistent, we only have to worry about if it's not logically equivalent.